want to make sure that the Senate representatives also know that we have the packets for them also. The last speaker today, just can't say enough. We headed down to, on a Tuesday, to get our resolution on the agenda. Come to find out, we had one day to do it in. And running around the halls down at the Capitol, I was very fortunate that I found myself in front of Senate President Libby Mitchell's office, walked in, and the senator became a champion of this issue. Our staff made sure that we had all our I's dotted, all our T's crossed, ran into the resolver's office, made sure it got on the agenda. She became the sponsor of this resolution, and for that we are forever grateful. And with that, I'd like to turn this over. Maine Senate President Libby Mitchell.
Thank you very much. Standing here with you today gives new meaning to solidarity, which I see on so many bumper stickers around here. It's solidarity with the workers. It's solidarity with our political representatives, with our town leaders. It's an extraordinary occasion. And I would like to thank Dan for giving me the opportunity to play a very modest role in it, because you have done the work. The letters and stories of the workers here make all the difference. And I want to talk to you just for a moment. You've heard all the reasons why this is so critical. We know about dumping, illegal dumping from China and Indonesia. We know about currency manipulation. We know those things. But what we also know is that paper making is at the heart and soul of Maine, has been, always will be, and we are the best in the world. Last night, a paper worker from Sappy Paper said, very simply, we can beat any paper maker in the world as long as it's fair. You know that, we know that. And we're going to stand together, and we're going to stand up and ask Congress, ask the federal decision makers to deal with this unfair competition. But I want to tell you again, your stories make the difference. One person can make a difference. It was wonderful serving in the legislature with my soon-to-be senator, I hope, from this area, John Patrick. And the reason it was so important to have him there, he could come to the legislature and talk about what it's like to make paper. He could come to the legislature and talk about what it's like to work for the families and how the town sticks together, and they're proud of their craft and their trade. We can talk about Congressman Misha, who I had the privilege of serving with many years ago. If you go to his office in Washington right now, he's got his lunch bucket sitting there, and it's there to remind him of his roots in Maine, his roots with the working people, and the fight for fairness. And that's why, of course, Sarah and her group recognizes his leadership. He lives it, he's worked it, he knows it. And one other story. The session has not quite adjourned, but we have a person on the other end of your paper making, a person who works in the woods. There's a senator who's a logger, who was up against similar forces beyond our borders. He was competing with bonded Canadian labor. Bonded Canadian labor, he's a logger. He stood on the floor of the Senate and he said there are 190 loggers who would like to work if it were just fair. Don't say we won't go to the far remote reaches of the state of Maine. We will if you pay us a decent wage. One person can make a difference. Dan started with, and then you got pulled aboard, as I see, but each of you stepped up to the plate and said, this is important, we'll make our voices heard. Now, you have, the good news is, 151 House members, 35 senators said, right on, we're with you. And the paper that Dan so humbly came to seek, which was really the most important thing we could have done this session, and we're the ones who are honored to do it, here it is. You have a resolution. It's being sent to every member of Congress. I should have brought copies and you could have taken it back. It's also being sent to the Trade Commission, and it says the Maine legislature is 100% in a bipartisan way behind our paper workers. We need jobs. We're fighting for jobs. We can't afford to lose any more jobs, and there's 6,000 jobs at stake unless we take action here. So Dan, would you please come over here? I would like to give this to you because you earned it. Please take it. I promise you I won't read the whole thing. The print's way too small for me, but I'm going to read you a couple of things from it because this is the importance of it. And there's a lot, you've seen these before, they're whereases, but here's the most important whereas. Whereas our coated paper industry is the most efficient in the world, its workers can compete with any foreign competition that does not enjoy the benefit of illegal government assistance. And that's why we join your suit. Absolutely critical, and that's what this is about. We support you, we're with you 100%. And again, that's every member of the Maine legislature. Not one person thought this was a bad idea. They were honored to have the chance to support you. Thank you all.